welcome back. It's like 3 weeks ago. I have read from Wikipedia. I'm playing Farming Simulator 19. I'm just to upload a lot of video. I was supposed to use this camcorder can record like 3 hours. It's just it's very hot in my apartment, like 29 degrees. But I need to close the door because the speakers is loud. I just downloaded a fresh copy of the Roman Empire, but that's 52 pages including the notes. But this camcorder can record like 3 hours. My old JVC. But this video that's most about, I just record stuff I like to read about on Wikipedia. So, but I need to finish this Roman Empire because I was to read about cars and history of the cars. And before that, I was reading about desert and aviation, aircraft, airports. I like to go back to this. I like to finish my Roman Empire project and record a bit video about it in my language Danish. But I don't know much about the Roman Empire. That's a very, very big subject because there's many empires and many hundreds of years. But and before the Roman Empire was the Roman Republic. So something was before. But let's get started.
Toggle the table of contents Roman Empire. This is a good article. Click here for more information. Page semi-protected. Roman Empire Senatus Populus Romanus, Latin. Imperium Romanum, A, Latin. Ancient Greek, Basileia Roman. 27 BC AD 395, Unified, 2, AD 395 476/480, Western, AD 395 1453, Eastern, Flag of Roman Empire. Vexillus with the Imperial Aquila of Roman Empire. Imperial Aquila Roman Empire Trajan 117 AD.png. Roman Empire in AD 117 at its greatest extent, at the time of Trajan's death. Vassals, 3, b. The Roman Empire, J, was the post-republican period of ancient Rome. As a polity, it included large territorial holdings around the Mediterranean Sea in Europe, North Africa, and Western Asia, and was ruled by emperors. From the accession of Caesar Augustus as the first Roman emperor to the military anarchy of the 3rd century, it was a principate with Italia as the metropole of its provinces and the city of Rome as its sole capital. The empire was later ruled by multiple emperors who shared control over the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. The imperial seat moved from Rome to Byzantium, and following the collapse of the West in AD 476, it became its sole capital as Constantinople. The adoption of Christianity as the state church of the Roman Empire in AD 380 and the fall of the Western Roman Empire to Germanic kings conventionally marks the end of classical antiquity and the beginning of the Middle Ages. Because of these events, along with the prevalence of Greek instead of Latin, Some historians distinguish the medieval Roman Empire that remained in the eastern provinces as the Byzantine Empire. The predecessor state of the Roman Empire, the Roman Republic, became severely destabilized in civil wars and political conflicts. In the middle of the 1st century BC, Julius Caesar was appointed as Dictator Perpetuo, dictator in perpetuity, and then assassinated in 44 BC. Civil wars and proscriptions continued, eventually culminating in the victory of Octavian over Mark Antonia and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. The following year, Octavian conquered the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt, ending the Hellenistic period that had begun with the 4th century BC conquests of Alexander the Great. Octavian's power became unassailable, and the Roman Senate granted him overarching power, imperium, and the new title of Augustus, making him the first Roman emperor. The vast Roman territories were organized in senatorial and imperial provinces except Italy, which continued to serve as a metropole. The Roman Empire. From the rise of the city-state of Rome to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The Roman Empire. From the rise of the city-state of Rome to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Capital Rome, 27 BC AD 330, c. Constantinople, 330-1453, d. Official languages: Latin. Common languages: regional languages. Religion: imperial cult-driven polytheism, until AD 380, with henotheistic solar cult of Sol Invictus from 274-380. Nicene Christianity, officially from AD 380. Demonym, S. Roman government. Semi-elective absolute monarchy, de facto, Emperor 27 BC AD 14 Augustus, 1st, 98-117 Trajan 138-161 Antoninus Pius 272-75 Aurelian 284-305 Diocletian 306-337 Constantine I 379-395 Theodosius I, e. 474-480 Julius Nepos. The first 2 centuries of the Roman Empire saw a period of unprecedented stability and prosperity known as the Pax Romana, lit. Roman peace. Rome reached its greatest territorial expanse during the reign of Trajan, AD 98-117, a period of increasing trouble and decline began with the reign of Commodus, 177-192. In the Three-Road Century, the empire underwent a crisis that threatened its existence, as the Gallic and Palmyrene empires broke away from the Roman state, and a series of short-lived emperors, often from the legions, led the empire. It was reunified under Aurelian, R 270-275. To stabilize it, Diocletian set up 2 different imperial courts in the Greek East and Latin West in 286. Christians resettled positions of power in the 4th century following the Edict of Milan of 313. Shortly after, the migration period, involving large invasions by Germanic peoples and by the Huns of Attila, led to the decline of the Western Roman Empire. With the fall of Ravenna to the Germanic Heruli and the deposition of Romulus Augustus in AD 476 by Odoacer, the Western Roman Empire finally collapsed. The Eastern Roman Emperor Zeno formally abolished it in AD 480. The Eastern Roman Empire survived for another millennium, until Constantinople fell in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks under Mehmed II. Due to the Roman Empire's vast extent and long endurance, the institutions and culture of Rome had a profound and lasting influence on the development of language, religion, art, architecture, literature, philosophy, law, and forms of government in the territory it governed. The Latin language of the Romans evolved into the Romance languages of the medieval and modern world, while medieval Greek became the language of Eastern Roman Empire. The empire's adoption of Christianity led to the formation of medieval Christendom. Roman and Greek art had a profound impact on the Italian Renaissance. Rome's architectural tradition served as the basis for Romanesque Renaissance and neoclassical architecture, and also had a strong influence on Islamic architecture. The discovery of Greek and Roman science and technology, which also formed the basis for Islamic science, in medieval Europe led to the scientific Renaissance and scientific revolution. The corpus of Roman law has its descendants in many modern legal systems of the world, such as the Napoleonic Code of France, while Rome's republican institutions have left an 475-476 Romulus Augustus, f. 527-565 Justinian I 610-641 Heraclius 787-97 Constantine 6. G. 976 1025 Basil 2 1143 1180 Manuel I 1449 1453 Constantine 11. H. Historical era Classical era to Late Middle Ages War of Actium 3230 BC Empire established 32 BC Octavian named Augustus 16 January 27 BC Constantinople becomes capital 11 May 330 Final East-West divide 17 January 395 Deposition of Romulus Augustus 4 September 476 Murder of Julius Nepos 9 May 480 Fourth Crusade 12 April 1204 Reconquest of Constantinople 25 July 1261 Fall of Constantinople 29 May 1453 Fall of Trebizond 15 August 1461 Area 25 BC 16 2,750,000 km 2 1,060,000 square mi, AD 117, 16, 17, 5,000,000 km 2, 1,900,000 square mi, AD 390, 16, 3,400,000 km 2, 1,300,000 square mi, population 25 BC, 18. 56,800,000 Currency Statius, I, Aureus, Solidus Nomisma succeeded by Roman Republic Western Roman Empire Eastern Roman Empire. Enduring legacy, influencing the Italian city-state republics of the medieval period, as well as the early United States and other modern democratic republics. History. Transition from republic to empire. Rome had begun expanding shortly after the founding of Roman Republic in the 6th century BC, though it did not expand outside the Italian peninsula until the 3rd century BC. Then, it was an empire, i.e., a great power, long before it had an emperor. 20. The Republic was not a nation-state in the modern sense, but a network of towns left to rule themselves, though with varying degrees of independence from the Roman Senate, and provinces administered by military commanders. It was ruled, not by emperors, but by annually elected magistrates, Roman consuls above all, in conjunction with the Senate. 21. For various reasons. The 1st century BC was a time of political and military upheaval, which ultimately led to rule by emperors. 22. 23, 24. The consul's military power rested in the Roman legal concept of imperium, which literally means command, though typically in a military sense. 25. Occasionally successful consuls were given the honorary title imperator, commander. And this is the origin of feud emperor, and empire, since this title, among others, was always bestowed to the early emperors upon their accession. 26. Rome suffered a long series of internal conflicts, conspiracies, and civil wars from the late 2nd century BC onward, while greatly extending its power beyond Italy. This was the period of the crisis of the Roman Republic. Towards the end of this era, in 44 BC, Julius Caesar was briefly perpetual dictator before being assassinated. The faction of his assassins was driven from Rome and defeated at the Battle of Philippi in 42 BC by an army led by Mark Antony and Caesar's adopted son Octavian. Antony and Octavian's division of the Roman world between themselves did not last, and Octavian's forces defeated those of Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. In 27 BC the Senate and people of Rome made Octavian princeps, first citizen, with proconsular imperium, thus beginning the Principate, the first epoch of Roman imperial history, usually dated from 27 BC to 284 AD, and gave him the title Augustus, the Venerated. Though the old constitutional machinery remained in place, Augustus came to predominate it. Although the Republic stood in name, contemporaries of Augustus. Animated overview of the Roman territorial history from the Roman Republic until the fall of its last remnant, the Byzantine Empire, in 1453 at the end of the post-classical era. Augustus of Prima Porta, a statue of Caesar Augustus, early 1st century AD, knew it was just a veil and that Augustus had all meaningful authority in Rome. 27. Since his rule ended a century of civil war and began an unprecedented period of peace and prosperity, he was so loved that he came to hold the power of a monarch de facto, if no de jure. During the years of his rule, a new constitutional order emerged, in part organically and in part by design, so that, upon his death, this new constitutional order operated as before when Tiberius was accepted as the new emperor. In 117 AD, under the rule of Trajan, the Roman Empire, at its farthest extent, dominated much of the Mediterranean basin spanning 3 continents. Pax Romana. The so-called 5 good emperors of 96-180 AD: Nerva, R96-98, Trajan, R98-117, Hadrian, R117-138, Antoninus Pius, R138-161, Marcus Aurelius, R161-180. The 200 years that began with Augustus's rule is traditionally regarded as Pax Romana, Roman peace. During this period, the cohesion of the Empire was furthered by a degree of social stability and economic prosperity that Rome had never before experienced. Uprisings in the provinces were infrequent but put down mercilessly and swiftly when they occurred. 28. The success of Augustus in establishing principles of dynastic succession was limited by his outliving a number of talented potential heirs. The Julio-Claudian dynasty lasted for 4 more emperors: Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero, before it yielded in 69 AD to the strife-torn year of the 4 emperors, from which Vespasian emerged as victor. Vespasian became the founder of the brief Flavian dynasty, to be followed by the Nerva-Antonine dynasty, which produced the 5 good emperors: Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and the philosophically inclined Marcus Aurelius. Fall in the West and survival in the East. In the view of the Greek historian Dio Cassius, a contemporary observer, the accession of the Emperor Commodus in 180 AD marked the descent from a kingdom of gold to one of rust and iron. 29. A famous comment which has led some historians, notably Edward Gibbon, to take Commodus' reign as the beginning of the decline of the Roman Empire. 31. The barbarian invasions consisted of the movement of, mainly, ancient Germanic peoples into Roman territory. Even though northern invasions took place throughout the life of the empire, this period officially began in the 4th century and lasted for many centuries, during which the Western territory was under the dominion of foreign northern rulers, a notable one being Charlemagne. Historically, This event marked the transition between classical antiquity and the Middle Ages. In 212 AD, during the reign of Caracalla, Roman citizenship was granted to all freeborn inhabitants of empire. But despite this gesture of universality, the Severan dynasty was tumultuous and emperor's reign was ended routinely by his murder